one of the reasons I started listening to you guys more is somebody had brought up, I think it was Seton, but everybody's kind of doing it. Seton was doing the Romo, and you guys were having a Romo discussion, and somebody's like, and don't listen to this whole thing before you think I'm a jerk. And somebody's like, they're doing your Tony Romo bit. And I'm like, well, it's an observation. It's very similar. It's just parallel thinking. But it was that whole bit about how he doesn't know the play. My joke is he went from Nostradamus to knows nothing about football anymore. And and my joke with Romo is basically he's like revving up a car when he starts. That's how I get into it. It's like, oh, Jim, Jim. And he can never think of a reference. He'll start. This happens to me all the time. So he starts a reference, and then he gets lost. Like, Jim, that's like a car or he'll be like, Jim, that's like going 0 to 60 in a car that goes really, really fast. Like he doesn't get the name of the car sometimes. And he's smiling. You can see Romo smiling. Oh, Jim, this is really, really great. What's he going to do here, though, Jim? And that's where it kind of crossed over with what you guys were talking about. Nance called me. I had the greatest voicemail in the world with Nance calling me, because I guess they do that on the set. They've done it in games, and where they just go, here we go, Jim. And then Nance goes, Tony. But Nance left me a message. He's go, Frankie. And I wish that the message was, hello, Frank. Jim Nance. Like, if I'd have gotten a hello, Frank at the beginning of that, oh, Jim, that would have been the best.
Okay, just to let the audience know, this is we weren't ripping you off. If anything, hopefully, no,
absolutely
we
not. No,
you.
You hadn't heard it. No. I thought no way on earth that you'd have seen me do it, because it wasn't even on TV or anything like that. No, it was one of those situations where a total parallel thinking. And here's the thing. Here's a funny thing is, like, you ever meet people that think kind of like you. I have a friend in town in Arizona, John Holmberg. He and I think very similarly, and it's why I can write with him sometimes. Seton sees a lot of things similar the way I do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how I attack that too. And I'm like, sometimes I get mad at him, but it's got nothing to do with it. I'm like, oh, he's already done that, so it's like, what am I gonna do? So it's actually,
right, so Paulie,
it's actually a great compliment to Seton, or he thinks I'm an idiot. And it's like, oh no, I've already done it.
It's one of my to have that bit be so good that people think I stole it from you is one of my greatest career accomplishments.
Well,
that's like the best thing. You basically gave me a dozen roses right there. I'm like, I want to hug you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. I don't want people to think that that's completely innocent, because it happens all the time. It used to be when you had a bit. Everything wasn't global. Like the Dan Patrick Show goes out everywhere and on social media. Now, everybody always had this stuff. People were always doing the same types of things all over. But now you just have the ability to see it. And I really enjoy the show. And I was at the man cave, the new man cave. Wasn't I one of the first people there at the?
Yes.
Is that? And is my star still there? Do I still have the star? I had a star on the walk. Okay, yeah. I just didn't know. It's been a while since I've been on, so I didn't know if it was a peel and stick. Like it was there one day, and like, okay. Because I remember Reggie Miller came out of the dressing room, and I was like, Reggie, I never really liked you I was honest. I was like, I never really liked you as a player, but meeting you, you were the greatest guy in the world. It's so cool.
All right, so Paulie, you play the role of Jim Nance, and then Seton plays Tony Romo. Okay, here we go.
Cowboys at the 45 of Dallas. What did they do here, Tone?
I don't know, Jim. What do you think? Did they run it? Did they pass it? What would you do?
We'll keep an eye on that.
It's kind of the same joke.
What are they going to do here, Jim? This looks really exciting. It looks like one of the best plays they've ever put together. What's going to happen here? Tony?
It's kind of what you're here for.
But they really do get along great. I mean, we always think. I think Tony does some of those inside jokes where he doesn't always explain it to the audience. And I don't know Tony. I was just talking to Nance for like an hour, I've met Tony in passing, but I enjoy these guys. I mean, to me, it's always finding the fun of somebody, and that's what makes it great. When you try and do an impression of somebody and you're being mean, I don't find it fun. It can be interesting, but I like to find the silliness. And I'll give props to and I've texted Fritzy about this before. His who's the basketball? I can't even think of the basketball announcer. That's on
Kevin
TNT.
Harlan.
Kevin Harlan.
Kevin
oh
Harlan.
my gosh, that when you did Kevin Harlan for Kevin Harlan, I mean that stuff is so much fun. Do a little, can you do a little Kevin Harlan?
The Hawks
give
on
me
a
a little there.
13-3 run. The Jazz want to talk about it. This is the NBA on TNT.
And he always goes that this is the NBA on TNT. Which is what you do when you can only say certain things and you know what's going to tie it in at the end. That this is the NBA on TNT. Mine always goes to Marv Albert. It turns into this from downtown. Yes. So I always get lost in there.